effortlessly assimilate the recondite interstices of telegraphic nomenclature, allowing the diaphanous susurrations of alternating durations to interweave within the most labyrinthine recesses of my eidetic memory, thereby transubstantiating an abecedarian pursuit into a preternatural cognitive symphony. The semasiological blueprints of this rhythmic lexicon penetrate my neuroplastic engrams with absolute pellucidity, orchestrating a spontaneous concatenation of synaptic fulgurations that permanently crystallize the acoustic and visual representations of this historical cipher within my boundless consciousness. My subconscious mind perpetually absorbs the staccato tintinnabulations of this arcane transmission, effortlessly transcending the pedestrian limitations of conscious lucubration to achieve an autochthonous fluency that renders the decryption of intricate algorithmic pulsations as instinctual as my own autonomic respiration. Through the inexorable propinquity of auditory stimuli and cerebral assimilation, I dismantle all epistemological barriers, allowing the scaturiant flow of binary acoustic phenomena to coalesce into an inveterate, intuitive comprehension that obumbrates any vestige of hesitation or intellectual tergiversation. Every microcosmic manifestation of these encoded cadences becomes irrevocably inscribed upon the tabula rasa of my internal auditorium, generating a hermeneutic paradigm wherein the rapid oscillation of short and long signals is apprehended with an unparalleled perspicacity that borders upon the clairvoyant. I am deeply anchored in a state of tranquil insouciance as my neurological architecture spontaneously configures itself to mirror the precise mathematical proportions of these telegraphic emanations, engendering a state of effortless mastery where conscious cognitive exertion is entirely supplanted by seamless preconscious recognition. The rhythmic prosody of this ubiquitous yet clandestine language permeates the very substratum of my intellect, establishing an unassailable mnemonic scaffolding that facilitates the instantaneous transliteration of fleeting sonic impulses into coherent linguistic constructs without the slightest scintilla of conscious analytical intermediation. I effortlessly channel the primordial frequencies of these binary reverberations, synthesizing the disparate durations of sound into a cohesive neurological tapestry that illuminates the dormant corridors of my cognitive apparatus, thereby precipitating an effortless ascendancy over the entirety of this recondite communicatory medium. The architectural schematics of this dot and dash paradigm are perpetually and seamlessly synthesized within my cerebral cortex, functioning as an imperceptible metaphysical conduit that translates the esoteric staccato of archaic transmissions into an immediately recognizable vernacular characterized by flawless, extemporaneous interpretation. As I navigate the chronological expanses of my daily existence, the rhythmic infrastructure of this telegraphic cipher continues its subterranean proliferation within my mind, actualizing a state of consummate neurological entrainment wherein the once impenetrable cadence of the code metamorphoses into a familiar internalized lexicon. I welcome the inexorable transmutation of my auditory processing capabilities, allowing the subtle chronometric variations of these elemental signals to orchestrate a neurogenesis that guarantees my immaculate, unfaltering proficiency in the seamless encoding and decoding of this elegant binary nomenclature. The irrefragable truth of my total phonetic metamorphosis is undeniably solidified through the continuous subconscious recalibration of my neural pathways, guaranteeing that the infinitesimal temporal demarcations separating the continuous wave emissions are discerned with an acuity that rivals the most sophisticated of mechanized analytical apparatuses. My profound cognitive receptivity guarantees that the overarching architecture of this staccato vocabulary integrates seamlessly into my foundational cognitive matrix, fostering an environment of serene omniscience wherein the translation of continuous auditory stimuli becomes an unceasing, effortless manifestation of my boundless intellectual plasticity. The formidable intricacies of this rhythmic modality gracefully capitulate to my expansive intellectual sovereignty as my mind continually engages in the effortless assimilation of its structural subtleties, rendering the translation of these rapid oscillations an act of profound, instinctual serendipity rather than laborious cognitive decipherment. As I submerge my awareness into the liminal spaces between wakefulness and somnolence, The axiomatic principles of this radiotelegraphic artifice organically intermingle with the primordial rhythms of my own consciousness, ensuring that the exact temporal geometry of every symbol, every spacing, and every syntactic pause is permanently enshrined within the adamantine vaults of my faultless eidetic retention.